Good morning, my favorite community. It's Lauren coming to you live this morning to talk about something I think all of us can relate to. So I'm going to pause for just a second and see who's going to pop on here. And anyone who is on, go ahead and put it in the comments that you're here. Let me know that you can hear me. Facebook's been a little glitchy lately. I also, I'm sitting outside because it's gorgeous, but I know that the sun is a little intense. I was trying to pick the right angle where you could still see the video well and I could still see you. So let me know if you can't see me. It's a little too glary and I'll move. So now I'm going to jump in and talk about one of my favorite things to talk about with my clients, which is self-sabotage. So what is self-sabotage? I think it's really important when we have expressions like this that are used so commonly in society to really take a look at what the word itself is talking about. So when we talk about self-sabotage, it acts like, hey, Monique, so glad that you're here. When we talk about self-sabotage, what we're talking about is that there is part of us that is really trying to undermine our actions, right? To the level it's trying to sabotage us. And I think it's really important to distinguish between mistakes that we make or decisions that we make where we may have regrets about them and actual self-sabotage. So one thing that can happen is, we make a mistake because we didn't know better. Say you were really swooned by a partner and you found yourself in a relationship and then realized that they were not a good partner for you. That's not self-sabotage because you were really in your heart thought, well, this is a really good relationship. Self-sabotage is when you have that little tickle, that little inkling that says, I don't think this is a good relationship, but you still choose the relationship. And we can apply self-sabotage to any area of our life, right? It can apply absolutely to relationships. It can apply to how we manage our money. It can apply to the jobs that we have, what communication strategies we engage with people that we love. And one thing that I see so common in my work as a coach is people who have read the books. And so they think in their head, I know what to do. And then in their real life, they're not able to do the things that they've read about and they're perplexed as to why. So that is the key with self-sabotage, is about where your brain has an idea of what it wants to do. And I think anyone here, right, any of us can relate to, well, I know the things that I need to do for myself. I need to do yoga every day and I need to meditate and I need to sleep well and drink all my water. And I need to only engage with people who, fill me up and are energizing people in my life, and I need to do fulfilling work, right? It's easy to make a list in our brains about life to be like. But that's where the dissonance comes from. We don't actually know how to make those changes in our lives. And so we can say, I want to drink water every day, and then be like, why did I choose to drink this other, soda or coffee or booze, right? And say like, well, that's self-sabotage. Why did I do that? So the core of why we do it is fear. So we can talk about fear all day and think about fear, in our brains, right? Intellectually, we can think about fear, but really there's a body component to it. So our bodies are wired to keep us safe, and they're wired for habit. And so, our bodies are also kind of little scientists. So when we're kids and we learn that our goal is to stay alive, and we learn that we stay alive by staying in relationships where someone maybe hurts us, abuses us, but we know at the end of the day that our goal was met, we still stay alive, then our body says, cool, the way to stay alive is to engage with people who abuse us. And in our heads, we can say, well, that doesn't make any sense, right? But this is our body's response. And so the same can be true with anything, right? If you look at a job, right, and you say, I really want to leave this job. I really believe in myself to go out on my own and start my own business and do my own thing. Even if in your head you know that that's the right thing, your body is going to say, wait, we haven't tested that. We don't know if we're going to be safe if you go for a new job. We know that you're safe if you stay in the job you have, where you have benefits and you know your coworkers, we don't know if you're going to be safe if you go out on your own. And so you shortcut yourself. And there's this like self-fulfilling prophecy that can happen with self-sabotage, where we know we want something different, and then our body responds with all of this fear, and then instead of moving past the fear, we just loop right back, right? And this is like a common anxiety pattern. And I think that it can be really helpful to speak about fear as anxiety, right? Anxiety naturally is a bell curve. It comes up, it peaks, and then it goes down. When we start to feel some anxiety and we go, oh, no, this is not good, this is not good, we jump off that roller coaster and we say, go back to the thing that we know, as opposed to actually being able to see, okay, I'm going to ride it out. Oh, what do you know? It peaked and it went down on its own. And I was okay by making a new choice. So I want to introduce you today to a simple 5-step process. And I'm calling it simple because it's only 5 steps. And I think they're easy steps to remember, but I know that they're not easy to implement. And so if you want to implement this and you notice that you're having a hard time doing so, hop on the phone with me. I offer calls to anyone, one call, right, for us to chat, get a sense about what the struggles are that you're facing in your life, see if I can be of help. And then if it seems like we're a good fit together, then we can also talk about what it would look like to work together. But there's no obligation. This is just my service to the world to provide these calls. So that's my caveat. So here's the 5-step process. So it's easy to remember in terms of the A, B, C, D, E process. So first step, A, is acknowledge when this is going to come up. So acknowledge when you're trying to enter into new situations. And so if you are like, I know that this job is not right for me and I'm going to quit this job, and this is scary, like acknowledge, okay, I'm going to do something new. I'm probably going to get activated into the self-sabotage cycle. So that's the first step. You just have to acknowledge the times when this is likely to present. The next step, B, is about body awareness. And so know what your signals are from your body that tell you when you're scared, or tell you when you have anxiety, or tell you when you have fear, whatever the language is that you use. I use them interchangeably because I believe that they are the same function, right? So for me, I'll use today as an example. I have anxiety before I do a live video and I am nervous, right? So me doing the first step, acknowledging a new situation, even if I've done lives before, I've actually never done a live about self-sabotage before. So here I am doing something new. So I acknowledge to myself, oh, this is a situation that might bring up some of that fear, anxiety. And next is body awareness. So just noticing when it does trigger. So for me, so much of how I experience the world is in my chest. And so I experience like a clenching, like a holding tight. I know my heart is racing. I know from what I know about science and how the body works and the brain works that all of my like internal processes are being impacted. And so it's just noticing, oh, there's my body telling me that it's scared. And then step 3, which is C, is about choice. And I think this is a huge step that we often forget. So what are your choices? So for me today, what are my choices? 1, to do this, and another, to not do it. Sometimes just laying out your choices, then you can say, well, I don't want to not do it, right? But one way that the self-sabotage cycle can get activated is by when you don't lay out those choices and you just go, oh no, I feel scared, and oh no, what if, and you end up procrastinating, and then you don't do the thing because you pushed it off for too long. But if early on you name out what your choices are, then it can be much clearer that you do have power, you do have options. And so I love that, Monique. What are your options, right? Is one of your options, to do the thing that you really want to do, and one of the options is to not do the thing you want to do? Well, you've already decided. You know that you want to do the thing. So that's the next step, D, decide. So decide what it is that you want. And with that decision, it can be a lot more resounding. And what we know from energy in the world is that actually making the decision actually does change your energy. And you say, well, this is the thing that I want to do. I'm deciding that I'm going to show up today and I'm going to do this live and I'm going to talk about self-sabotage. So the next step is E for empathy. And it's having empathy for yourself and specifically having empathy for that fear. And when I talk about empathy, it's really understanding why something or someone functions the way that it or they do. And so when we're talking about self-sabotage, that fear is functioning to keep you safe. It thinks that the safest way for you is to just not change anything and just keep staying in the same relationships and the same job and having the same communication patterns and having all of the same things in your life because you know that that keeps you alive. But if you have empathy for that part and say, okay, fear, I hear you. I see you. Thank you for keeping me safe. Now I'm going to do the thing I really want to do. So that's it for today. So this is an ongoing series. So Tuesday Talks, and someone had reached out to me to ask for support and some information around self-sabotage. So that's why this topic came to be for you today. And I have something on deck for next Tuesday that's also juicy. But feel free to reach out to me with anything that you'd like me to chat about, and I can put it on the schedule as one of the, my gifts to this community that is bringing me so much joy and so much connection and so much support in these otherwise challenging times. So sending you all love, and know that you can always reach out to me and schedule that call.